Let's see what we're going to talk about real quick. Oh, there it is right there. Apple looks most oversold in years after $200 billion sell-off. These titles are written just to get you come out and buy the stock. Understand? That's why they create these articles. This article was written by Bloomberg. Maybe they're on the payroll of Apple, to where when things occur, they got to create content that make people say, "Oh, it's oversold. So maybe Apple is due for a bounce." Maybe not, because they provide this chart right here for Apple of their QQQ ETF 14-day relative strength index, RSI, and these lines at 70 and 30%, which is a technical indicator, RSI. Once the price or the number of the RSI goes above 70, it's considered overbought. When it goes below 30, it's considered oversold. And this is where you would expect to see a bounce in the stock's price, right? You expect that. This is what the technical indicator is supposed to mean. But as with everything in life, it doesn't go that way. But they're trying to say, looking at where it is now, the last time that we saw Apple become oversold on this RSI looked like it was around 2018. Okay, 2018. If we look at the price in Apple, let's see if we could go back to 2018. Did we get a bounce around that time? Best believe it. Look at that. Market ran up in Apple after it was seen to be oversold, and here's the result today. So maybe this is a pristine opportunity to expect a bounce in Apple's stock price. Maybe. Apple has struggled in 2024. I mean, it's only been 3 months. And the recent weakness has the stock looking like it's the most oversold in years, analysts said. Shares of the iPhone maker are down 14% from the recent peak and have dropped 12% this year. Now, what's going on? I did a video previously for Apple and about Goldman Sachs removing them from their top buy conviction list. Something is going on with Apple. Now, you and I, being on the outside, not privy to the internal communications with this business, we're left to guess as to what's going on. Now, from my perspective, my standpoint, I look at the chart though. People, when they are fearful, when they see something on the horizon about to happen, they get out, they leave, they sell. Okay? Before the news ever drops as to the cause as to why they did that, as to why they sold their position. Looking at the stock in Apple, something is not right. The market is weak. Looking at a couple of other stocks, Google is looking weak. Microsoft, Amazon, every one of these stocks aren't looking weak, but there are some, and Apple is included in that bunch. Maybe it's due for a bounce, and that could just be it, because maybe some of the eternal executives have to sell a couple of stock every so often. So maybe that's the process that's going on right now. We just don't know. But it doesn't mean that we cannot profit from the move in Apple. Apple shares have been pressured by concerns over iPhone sales in China and a fine from the European Union. Yeah, they're getting chopped up. They're not selling many iPhones, and they got fined massively from the European Union. Quote, at some point, this hate is going to be too much, and most oversold in 6 years seems like a good place to start. This is what Michael Toomey, head of TMT trading at Jefferies LLC, wrote. He said the length of the stock's underperformance relative to the NASDAQ 100 has been notable, adding that, quote, feels like every day we get another negative Apple data point, and is not particularly cheap, meaning that the market crashes off of that data point. Jeffries looked at the relative strength index of long Apple positions versus short positions in the Invesco QQQ, the exchange traded fund that tracks the NASDAQ 100. Based on this is the most oversold Apple or QQQ has been since early 2018. Bespoke Investment Group wrote in a post on Twitter that Apple is more than 3 standard deviations below its 50-day moving average and that it, quote, hasn't been this oversold since March 16, 2020, in the throes of the crash. You guys can see that word there. So, what do you think? These analysts think that the writing is on the wall by data points, by technical indicator called the RSI, that we should see a bounce in Apple. But we did a price prediction in Apple, and it already came to our ultimate TP price on our second buy zone. It didn't even hold this first buy zone, so we could get rid of that. Maybe the market's going to come to our third buy zone down here around 165. And given the weakness that we have currently on the weekly chart, we got a day and 9 hours left, but currently it looked like it wants to do that. It doesn't look like this second buy zone is going to hold. So even though those analysts are looking forward to Apple eventually bouncing, the chart is not showing us that yet. It looked like there's still some fear in the market for Apple. We even see here on the 5-day chart this indicator of weakness, this push to go down bar. Okay. So I'm just showing you the information off of what the analysts are talking about, and I'm showing you the information off what the chart is talking about. The chart is telling us that there's still some fear. People are still nervous of jumping on board in Apple right now. Okay. So we got that price prediction right, 6.66% there. Let's get rid of it. And this buy zone already has broken to the downside. But I'm going to hold it there a little while longer because we may see another recovery, market moving higher in Apple. So let's do this. We're going to create sell zones lower, okay? Because if and whenever Apple bounces or begins to trend higher, these will be the levels that I will be looking for sellers to increase to come back into the market. Okay. So yeah, let me get rid of that buy zone there. And we're going to hold on to this lower one here. I really think we may get that bounce down here. So let me let the market continue to drift a little bit lower. Then maybe another day or so, we may be able to drop one. Because this could be the bottom right now. Who knows? Because that's pretty close already to the buy zone. So give me like another day or so, and we'll talk about it. But yeah, go ahead and give me your thoughts. Make sure you maintain the profitability. And as always, trade different.